This video is going to focus on how to multiply decimals using the distributive property and partial product method. So when I look at 300 times 11.8, this looks like maybe I'd want to pick up a calculator. But because of the zeros at the end of 300, this is actually going to be quite an easy, more mental math type problem. So what I want to do is I want to take my 11.8 and I want to separate that into two smaller numbers that I can work with. So when I look at 11.8, I have an 11 in the front plus 8/10 in the back. So I could separate that out into 11 plus 0.8. So I'm really multiplying 300 by both of those numbers. So using the distributive property, I'm going to do 300 times 11 because that's going to be the first part of my problem. But I'm also doing 300 times 0.8. Remember, the parentheses are a multiplication symbol. So I'm going to be adding them in the middle. So this is what my problem now is going to look like. I have 300 times 11 plus 300 times 8/10. When I do my math, because of the zeros at the end, it's again going to be a quicker problem to solve. So when I have my two zeros there, I can kind of ignore them in the beginning. I'm just going to do 3 times 11 is 33. I'm going to add my two zeros back on to get 3,300. So 300 times 11 is 3,300. Looking at my next one, I have, again, the two zeros right there. So I'm going to ignore them for the time being. I'm going to do 3 times 8 is 24. And then I'm going to add those two zeros back on afterwards. So I get 2,400. Now, there was a decimal point right here, though. So when I look at this, I need to figure out how many numbers do I need in the decimal place of the 2,400. I have one scoop only in my numbers I'm multiplying. So in my product, I only want one scoop as well. So I'm going to scoop over one time to get 240. So now I need to add these two numbers together. If I can't see this going horizontally, I can rewrite this vertically. So 3,300 plus 240. Now, if you add the 0.0, that's fine. But again, you want to make sure you're lining everything up then. When I multiply my numbers don't need to be lined up. My decimal points, don't need to be lined up, but when I'm adding my numbers, I do need my decimal points to line up. So make sure that you're putting everything from the correct place value on top of each other. This 0 right here matches up with the 0 and the 240 because those are both in the ones place. My 0 right here and this 4 right here, they have to line up because they're both in the tens place. My 3 right here and my 2 right here, they're both in the hundreds place. So I have to make sure I'm lining everything up according to place value. When I go through and I add these together though, okay, I don't really need the 0.0 at the end because the 0.0 at the end doesn't really make a difference, but 0 plus 0, I get a 0. 0 plus 4 is 4. 3 plus 2 is 5. 3 plus nothing is 3. So I get 3,540. So that's a multiplication problem using the distributive property and partial products.